It's time now for the Art Connection of East Texas. The Art Connection of East Texas is sponsored by Valorosa Designs and Galleries in Tyler's Bergfeld Center. Now, let's welcome your host and co-host of the Art Connection of East Texas, Nita Fran Ward and Cindy Trimble.
Good morning. We're on this morning with the Art Connection of East Texas. Hello, Cindy.
Good morning.
And hello, Natalie. Our guest this morning is Natalie Sampson from Tyler and Allen, Texas. Now she lives in Allen, and we're happy to have you, Natalie.
Happy to be here this morning.
Thank you. It's kind of early for a young woman, isn't it?
Just a little bit, but that's okay. That's why there's coffee.
That's right. Thank God for Starbucks.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
So this morning we have a great show for you. We're going to be talking to Natalie and all of her experiences growing up and becoming an artist and taking that route in her life and the support she had and where she graduated and now the wonderful job that she has. So thank you, Natalie, for being here. And Cindy, we have a great lineup for the rest of the month. I want to tell everyone about that.
Yes, tell it. We have a lot of exciting people coming in.
Yes, we do. Next week, July the 16th, is Gail Lassiter. She is a visual artist, a graphic artist here in town, and she does a lot of murals.
Oh, okay.
And then on to the 23rd, we have Larry Lott.
Yes, he's excited to come and talk to everybody.
Good. And he's moved to the Design Center over on East Ferguson.
East Ferguson and Beckham.
Yes, and so we are going to be really excited to have Larry come on and visit with us about all that he does and learn a little bit about how he got into interior design. And then on July 30th is Elaine Uthnussen, and she is from South Africa, now lives in Tyler, and Elaine is lovely, lovely woman, and she is very, very interesting, and her journey as an artist. So that is the lineup we have for the next few weeks. Now, every Saturday morning, we have 2 community service announcements, and we want to talk about one of our favorite artists who also shows art in Valorosa Designs and Gallery. We are located in the Bergfeld Center, and it is Jan Statman.
Miss Jan Statman, we love you, and we love your art. She has an unbelievable amount of art on display there at the Gregg County Historical Museum. Her artwork is going to be on viewing through the end of July. So we want to encourage everyone to go and take part of this. Yesterday there was Thursday was a reception in the exhibit. She was doing the book signing. Her new book is called The Wildfire Heart, and you're reading this book.
I am, and
Can you give us a
very
glimpse?
interesting, and it is about a young woman and her journey into the English courts. It's that typical Cinderella story, kind of. It's wonderful, though. I like it a lot.
Well, she's so creative and vivid.
Yeah, it's kind of a historical fiction without really being based on history, but you almost feel like it's historical fiction.
Wow, back in time.
It's great. It's great. The other announcement we have is the Texas Shakespeare Festival, which is this month, all the way through July 31st in Kilgore. And Cindy, I am looking at the brochure, and also we have brochures here at KTBB, and there are brochures also at Valorosa Designs if anyone is interested. And what is it you noticed about that?
Well, I just noticed that everybody wants to take advantage and go to Kilgore. This is like they say walking into New York City. I have not yet experienced this and certainly want to take part in the professional acting that goes on in this arena, the comfortable seating, and just to see what this is all about. It's been going on for 30 years here in the Kilgore area since 1986, and it's just nationally acclaimed.
Yes,
and
it is.
They go the whole year looking and auditioning people for these parts.
Yes, and they have the only time that they do not have presentations are on the July 11th and the 18th. There are shows every other day, and some of the events that they have is Carousel. I want to go see Carousel. They have Blithe Spirit. They have King Henry V. They have The Merchant of Venice, Spirit of the Sea, The Belle of Amherst. They have so many activities. You just have to pick up a brochure or go online.
Well, and not only that, if you look on these different dates, you have different time frames. So, if you can't make 7:30 p.m. one day, try 2 p.m. the next. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to take advantage of.
That's right. I was going to read here something that was said by John Paul Batiste, Texas Commission on the Arts, and I'm not sure if he still is. But Texas Shakespeare Festival, this is a quote, Texas Shakespeare Festival is one of the top 10 cultural events in the state. And I think that says an awful lot about the way they have defined themselves within the Texas art.
Well, certainly, and those tickets can be ordered online at www.texasshakespeare.com, and that's where you can get those tickets.
Yes. Or they can call 903-983-8601 from 9 to 5:30, and the ticket office is closed on Mondays, but they can call any other day.
Fun.
Yes.
Who knew all this fun was going on in East Texas while I've been gone for 30 years? I'm so happy to be back.
We want to thank our sponsors. We always give a shout out to them, Brad Bergfield, Bergfield Insurance, Judy Kunzman, the real estate team at Keller Williams, and Natalie's mom, Christy, works with Judy. Tracy Brevard, one of the sweetest ladies in town, Gold Leaf Gallery, Larry Lott, Design Center, and that's our sponsors, and we're just really proud of them and thank them for keeping us going.
Absolutely, and we have some people wanting to come and take part of our sponsorship going forward. So we thank everyone in the community for the outreach and the support as we continue to talk about art and connecting people, which is what we love to do.
That's right. And if you want to look on the ACETnetwork.net, it's ACETnetwork.net. Tells you about Art Connection of East Texas, tells you as an artist how you can join, and it talks about the different events if you want to see who's being interviewed. If you want to call in, the call-in number is 903-593-5822. Be sure and call in. You can talk to Natalie. You can talk to any of us. You can ask questions about anything that we know something about.
And if we don't know, we'll certainly find out.
That's right. Boy, these phones are amazing. You can just Google anything. Well, Natalie, let's jump right into talking to you this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
What a creative, dynamic lady. I have to tell you, I was online at 5 o'clock this morning researching who this young lady is, and very impressed with the wealth of work that you've actually embodied already.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So tell us, where's your inspiration? Where do you get all this creativity?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I have always loved art and always loved to draw, and I grew up just being a creative person, and I knew that when I grew up, I wanted to do something that I didn't want to be stuck in a normal desk job, but still have interaction with people. And so graphic design lets me be creative as well as interact with people. So it's kind of how I got to
this point.
Yeah, where I am. So,
but you followed your dream.
I did.
You followed your dream for many reasons because you were enabled to do that too.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go back and visit that. But I want to talk about your childhood. Talk about what are your first memories of how you knew that you had this artistic ability.
Well, at school, for field trips and stuff, my favorite field trips were always the ones where we went to the art museum. We went to Tyler Junior College Museum of Art a couple times, actually. And then in high school, my junior year, we went to Washington, D.C., and I had a chance to go to the National Art Museum.
Oh, spectacular.
Which was, amazing. And so I've always been drawn to art. And I don't know, it's just something that the Lord has given me.
Yes,
and
it is
passion for.
Well,
so,
it's a gift.
Absolutely.
And you're following that gift.
Yes.
Because you didn't have other artisans in your family, did you?
No.
Yeah, so you're just kind of this Lone Ranger out there, this little creative spirit. So it's nice when somebody can acknowledge that and cultivate it versus trying to shut it down or, make you be a little left brain or something.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you found the balance, though.
Yes, for sure.
You went to Grace Community School here
Yes.
here in Tyler. Your whole life you went to Grace,
Yes,
didn't you?
14
That's what I
years.
thought. Talk about OU,
Okay.
the University of Oklahoma.
Yes, I graduated from the University of Oklahoma, and people ask me all the time, they're like, how did you end up at school in Oklahoma if you're from East Texas? And I was like, well, it's a great school. My older sister went there, and I just fell in love with the campus when I got there. And they had a really great program for design, which I was drawn to as well. So that's kind of how I got to OU. And
We're going to take a break
Okay.
in a minute, but when we come back from the break, I want to talk about the process you had to go through, because I was involved in watching you go through this process when you applied to the university.
Yes.
Because it was quite a process you had to fulfill
Yes.
to meet those requirements. So it's time for us to take a break, and we'll be right back. So don't go away.
Your only local news radio, 97.5 KTBB FM.
Are you looking for an excellent and professional real estate team? Judy Kunzman and her team of professionals at Keller Williams Realty are ready and excited to help you with your real estate needs. With Judy having 20 plus years of experience, she's definitely the person to have working for you. She brings her enthusiasm and professionalism required to get you to the closing table. And Judy will make buying or selling a home easier for you. Call the Judy Kunzman team today, 903-581-0111. They're selling real estate with a smile.
Join Larry Lott Interiors by registering at tylerpaper.com for the virtual house inside-outside contest. And join Larry for the biggest housewarming sale in East Texas at 512 East Ferguson, Tyler. And we're celebrating with a huge discount event. Get 40 to 50% off everything in the store, from furniture to accessories, and 20% off custom orders. That's a huge savings on name brands, perfect for any home. The virtual house at tylerpaper.com home improvement contest, with an opportunity to win a free in-home consult from Larry Lott.
When your air conditioner dies, now that's an emergency. So what you need above all things is a professional, friendly, no-nonsense team of experts that will respect your budget and your urgency. That team is the original Evans Air Conditioning. A few months ago, we had them replace our old system with a high-efficiency Lennox unit. The savings on our electric bill have been dramatic. I'm talking 50%. The change at our home has been dramatic in both comfort and money. Now, you may not save 50%, but call the folks at the original Evans Air Conditioning and let them show what a new Lennox or Train system can do for you. Rick and Dixie Walker have built an outstanding reputation. Licensed, insured, and a staff of certified air conditioning and heating pros. I've known them for 10 years, and that means the original Evans Air Conditioning will be around to back up that warranty. Call 903-561-9410, 561-9410, or even easier, on the web at evansair.net. The original Evans Air Conditioning, license number A10599E.
I'm Henry Lewis of Lewis Chevrolet in Canton. Lewis Chevrolet is changing. I'll meet you at 2 in the morning is not changing. The largest Corvette dealership between Dallas and Houston is not changing. Up to $10,000 rebates, 0 down, 0 interest is not changing. Free loan cars, free record service. The finest service department anywhere is not changing. When you buy a new Chevrolet from Lewis Chevrolet, if you decide the next day you're not satisfied, just bring it back. No questions asked, full refund. That's not changing. Our support of First Money Trades Day in Canton is not changing. This is Lewis Chevrolet and my 50th year in Canton. Lewis Chevrolet, Canton, Texas, 1-800-775-4288. Find new roads. Come to Lewis Chevrolet in Canton and see our changes. We're open all day Saturday or any other time you want to come. I'm Henry Lewis. I'll meet you at 2 in the morning if I know you're coming. Lewis Chevrolet, Canton, Texas, 1-800-775-4288.
I think wireless audio is kind of the baseline of automation in a house.
That's Dennis Mortis, owner of Stereo and Video Center of Tyler.
Most people, they may not want all the lighting and thermostat control and stuff like that, but man, they would really like to listen to music throughout their house. And the old days of having to walk over to a cabinet and open doors and put a CD in and turn knobs and push buttons are over.
You've worked hard to have a nice home. Now let Stereo and Video Center make that home work for you.
Sound is a big thing outdoors. You want to have some music going. A lot of systems that incorporate landscaping speakers, ones that you don't even see. All of those systems you can run through your wireless network with your phone, changing what's being played.
Stereo and Video Center of Tyler for home entertainment, car and truck audio, window tinting, and outdoor living. On South Broadway across from Lowe's. Online at stereovideocenter.com. Stereo and Video Center.
Search KTBB in the App Store. It's free for iPhone and Android, thanks to Tyler Ford.
We're back with the next segment of Art Connection of East Texas with our guest, Natalie Sampson, and my very, very precious co-host, Cindy Trimble.
Thank you, Ms.
You
Nita
have a new
Fran.
job.
I do. I'm with Susan Robinson Jewelry, downtown Tyler, in the Arts and Culture District. I'm so excited.
Yes, you are. You're doing a great job. It's so good to see you in that.
I am having so much fun. There are people coming to downtown Tyler from all around.
They are.
And where we are located is right there at the entrance of the People's Petroleum Building, which is a fabulous Art Deco building from 1932 that's been restored. So it's like walking back in time. So it's like walking art history.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
And going up to Jack Ryan's.
Oh, it's the best steak around.
Oh my goodness, it is so good.
It is delicious.
and we want to. All of our minds are on Dallas and the things that happened there. And Natalie was just sharing something with me, and she said that one of the police officers who was killed was a member of their church there in the Dallas area. So we pray for all of them, and they're on our hearts and in our minds.
All of our hearts are also heavy.
Yes. Talk, Cindy, to
Ms. Natalie.
Natalie.
Yes, we are so happy to have you here, Natalie. Thank you. We were speaking right before the commercial break regarding all of the requirements that it took you to get in there in Oklahoma and your university. Can you tell us that process?
Yes, for sure. So when I was applying to the school, I had to also apply to get into the art school. And so that just took, I just had to put together some of my work that I did in high school during my high school art classes. And so then they looked at the portfolio and then let you know if you were in or not. Getting into the art school itself was not as big of a challenge as getting into the visual communication program. And so that entailed the first year of the art school at OU is you're in foundation classes. So one semester you're in a drawing class and 2D design and like art theory, and then the next semester you're in a 3D design class and another art theory class. And so that you put together a portfolio of your first year in the school's work, and you apply to the program you want to get into, whether that's photography, visual communication, painting, sculpture, whatever you want to go into.
Well, I noticed such an array of diversity in your portfolio. So, which was just, it seemed more than just the web design. So I like how you spoke about visual communication, because that definitely is an art form within itself. And you definitely speak to that.
Right, for sure. And so once we submitted our portfolios for the visual communication program, we had to interview with the professors. And they picked 30 of us to be in the program.
What are some of the things that they would ask you? Do you remember some of the information they wanted from you?
Well, I don't remember a lot about the interview because it was quick and I was so nervous.
I'm sure you were, honey.
Some of the questions they asked, like if I liked to travel, if I had been anywhere. They really stayed away from questions like, why do you want to be in the program? Mm-hmm. Because they wanted like a real well-rounded individual and not just someone who...
They want to know about you, not...
Yes.
Yes. They're going to develop your work.
Exactly. Like at this point, we all have artistic ability. They just want to narrow down who is a well-rounded individual. Mm-hmm. So...
And you came out of that. You were accepted.
Yes.
And so you went into what you called the visual communications?
Yes. From that point, I went into the visual communication program. Which, once you're in, it's 3 years and you graduate. So, sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Sure. Okay. What are some of the classes? And I remember specifically very many things that your parents had to purchase for you. Programs, computer, that kind of thing. Let's talk about that, because that's a big deal.
It is.
It's an investment.
It definitely is.
It's an investment. Yes.
Yes. We had to have a Mac computer. You could have a PC, but it was a lot more difficult because like the programs are built to work well with Mac computers. And so we had to have...
They're the artist computer.
Yes, absolutely, which they're really nice. Like, I'm not complaining.
No.
And then we had to have the like Adobe Creative Suite, so that included Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. And so Photoshop is pixel-based, so you use that for like web design, and like Illustrator is kind of self-explanatory.
Okay, I want to stop you right there, because we are partly an art education program. That's part of why we're doing this. Talk about the importance of the pixel, because that is very, very important when you're doing your kind of work.
It is, because you always ask for like the original, and people send you like copy, and it comes out blurry. You're like, I need the highest pixel amount possible.
Right, and so
Resolution, is
yes.
that a good word?
Yes, absolutely. So when you're doing anything on the web, like everything is pixel based, and so when you send photos and they need to be like high resolution, you need at least 300 DPI, so dots per inch is what that means. And so obviously the more dots per inch, the higher resolution the photo. So if you send something that's 72 DPI, it's a lot smaller. But yeah, so when you're designing for web design, you want to be in Photoshop because that's what the program was built for.
Okay.
So when you go to like Illustrator, it was built for doing illustrations and graphics and vector-based artwork.
Now, what does that mean?
That means that it's not pixel-based at all. So
Vector.
Vector.
How do you spell that?
VECTOR.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds.
Okay.
She passed the spelling bee.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because, and I'm very, very mindful of this. This is so new. It's not, but it is. There are so many people that really don't understand about graphic design and how this works. So I really want to use this opportunity to explain to people why this is such a big thing within our society now of young people doing graphic design.
Right. And like with vector-based stuff, those are graphics that can be scaled without losing the resolution. So when you scale a pixel-based,
like you take a logo and you can make it larger.
You can make it larger.
Or smaller.
Or smaller, and it looks exactly the same.
Exactly. Okay, now that makes sense.
Right, but with pixel, if you scale it up, it can become blurry and
distorted,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So.
I learned something right
Me
there.
too.
We're getting an education ourselves.
Computers are my
Cindy.
kryptonite. I'm always warned to stay far away.
I always said I could walk up to a computer or a machine, a copy machine, and it just went down just immediately. It just shut off. I don't know what it was. So, okay, you get into college.
Yes.
You get into the program that you want to, and you've got 3 years ahead of you.
Yes.
I know you made very good grades. I saw a lot of your work. As you traveled through that, did you find yourself moving toward a certain thing within the program that you really wanted to hone in on, and that was going to be your life, your career?
Right. Well, I really enjoyed all of the classes. I would say I really drew away from certain aspects of design. Like I knew I didn't want to go into anything related to video or animation because it frustrated me and it took so much time.
But that's part of the learning too, is learning what you don't like to do.
Exactly. And the world we live in is so web-based and everything is online. And so I kind of veered toward that direction towards the end of college and picking a career path because that is where the world is headed and there's less print design everywhere. So
it reminds me, I worked back in visual merchandising back in the day when I was in high school, so 30 years ago, and we actually made our own posters with like the stamp and the ink blocks and the lettering. Here's the poster of the day.
Look where we are. It is pretty amazing where you actually can take this image and you can draw.
Yes.
Talk about that because you have a program where you can actually, do you do it with your finger on the screen or do you do it, how do you do that? What do you have? Do you have a stylus?
I actually don't.
Okay. How do you do it?
I'm sure it would be easier if I did. But I use, when I draw on my computer, I use Illustrator. And there's a tool in Illustrator called the pen tool, and you use your mouse to do the drawing.
Okay.
It's kind of a little tricky tool, but after you get the hang of it,
it works for you,
works.
okay. So you just take your mouse and move it, and you can actually fill in, and you can choose color, that kind of thing.
It's like finger painting.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We have a hard break that we're going to have to take with Chris, and so we're going to be back in just a moment.
Support the folks that support us. Search the advertiser directory at ktbb.com. ktbb.com. Hosted by Group M7.
Outrage and grief gripping the nation following the ambush sniper attacks that killed police officers in Dallas, and protests over recent officer-involved shootings of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota. Investigators say the lone gunman, Micah Johnson, was well-armed and targeted officers. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has more.
Well, so far we're hearing that he is a man with deep-seated hatred for police, also white people in general. And they're saying that he went to the scene on Thursday night with the specific intent of hunting and killing police.
The gunfire on the same night of a march in Dallas against recent officer-involved shootings.
Innocent lives was taken. They say black lives matters, police lives matters. Innocent people lives matters. Everybody lives matters.
That's Lynn Mays. He was one of the marchers and says he was just feet away when the first officers were shot. A Mega Millions ticket holder in Indiana is a big winner. Lottery officials say they drew the winning numbers for a $540 million jackpot.
You've waited months to bring it home? A beautiful painting that still takes your breath away, and you have just the right place in mind to hang it. All that's missing is a custom frame, that final detail that ties it all together. Trust your artwork to Gold Leaf Gallery. With an eye for detail and a heart for artists, Gold Leaf Gallery offers custom framing and personalized service. Gold Leaf Gallery in the French Quarter in Tyler. Framing by artists for artists. GoldLeafGallery.com.
As a family-owned business, the Bergfeld Insurance Agency values treasured heirlooms. The agency has been passed down through generations, so they understand the importance of ensuring family history. Trust the Bergfeld Agency to insure your collectible art and precious jewels. Homeowner policies may not cover your collection, so call today for a free quote. They're an independent agency offering customized policies from multiple carriers for home, auto, RV, and business. BergfeldAgency.com.
Lost your keys? Locked out of your car, home, or business? It's frustrating and can be dangerous at the wrong time of day or night. Call Locksmith Express. Call 7 days a week. Residential, business, auto, theft, lost keys, rekey. 903-312-0006. Response time is 30 minutes in most cases. 903-312-0006. Key replacement, lockouts, remote replacements on most cars, home and business rekeys, and keys made from most VIN numbers and high-security auto keys. Locksmith Express. And if you're buying or building a home, call Locksmith Express to rekey and make sure you know who has the keys to your new home. 903-312-0006. Get more information at locksmithexpress.biz. That's locksmithexpress.biz. 903-312-0006. 903-312-0006. License number B12284. Locksmith Express.
Treat people fairly, do a little more than the contract says, and be there when they have a problem.
Clay Chambliss, owner of Bullard Siding.
I'm not going to say we've never had a problem on a job, but I don't have unhappy customers. I don't allow that to happen. Plain and simple, don't. If there's an issue, we fix it.
When Bullard Siding goes to work for you, they bring with them a network of proven quality suppliers.
It's not just Bullard Siding, it's our suppliers as well. I mean, one sunroom, we may have 6 or 7 suppliers. We're picking the best of each item to build a component system that is the best that can be built in this part of the country. The number of projects we've completed over our history, without a doubt, we can anticipate problems. It means your job's going to go smoother with a better finished product.
For siding, energy-efficient windows, sunrooms, and outdoor living, let Bullard Siding be your home improvement resource. Bullard Siding, more than 70 years, serving Tyler and East Texas. Online at bullardsiding.com. Bullard Siding.
Whether you're camping at Tyler State Park, getting your ride gassed up, or finding something sweet to eat, stop by State Park Exxon. State Park Exxon has all the fishing and camping supplies you need. Plus, they have 16 flavors of their homemade gelato Italian ice cream. And be sure to ask for State Park Exxon's world-famous fudge. State Park Exxon, it's an East Texas oasis on Highway 14 across from Tyler State Park.
When you need an electrician that you can count on, call Russ Zumwalt at Mr. Sparky, 888-8-SPARKY, and on the web at MrSparkyEastTexas.com.
Mr. Sparky, We're on time, you'll see, Mr. Sparky, or your repair is free. You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
TECL 17321.
Hey, Tyler, Longview, it's your friend Sean Hannity here. Join me weekday afternoons 2 to 5, right after Rush, on your only local news radio, 97.5 KTBB FM.
And good morning, East Texas. I'm Cindy Trimble here with Nita Fran Ward and Natalie Sampson. And we are delighted to be here with you. And I was just listening to that lovely music from Starsteed with Alex Ruiz. Nita, did you see their pictures on Facebook this week? These guys
were in California.
On the ocean playing their music.
On the beach. I thought that was so wonderful.
So yeah, now I have a new visual with that music. I just had to share that moment.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, wonderful. So we are back, and we were going to finish talking with Miss Natalie.
Yes.
I think you had a couple of questions lined up.
I did, but I also want to say thank you to Chris. He is our producer, and Chris is always here bright and early for us, opens the door and lets us in.
And he recently got
married.
Chris.
Yes, thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. Well, Natalie, I was looking on the university information website, and I was very intrigued with two things. One is I'm a real fan of Susana Martinez, the governor of New Mexico. I know her personally, really, really like her. I was very pleased to see that she was a graduate of Oklahoma.
She's a smart woman.
I was really amazed at that. I mean,
sounds like a hidden treasure there in Oklahoma.
She was raised in southern New Mexico, down in that southern part, close to Silver City. So I was really kind of intrigued by that. The other thing was, and you and I spoke about this, the Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art. A large museum that has a nice collection of French Impressionism and Native American artwork.
Yes.
And you were talking about you were able to go there several times. So talk to me a bit about that. I think that's a inspiration, certainly, for a young artist.
Absolutely. The Fred Jones Jr. Museum of Art is actually backs up to the art school.
Mm-hmm.
And so during some of our, whether it was an art history class we were taking or even one of our studio classes, we would walk over there to see certain paintings because it's free admission, and for students I think it's free admission to the public.
Okay.
I'd have to look that back up, but I took a Renaissance art class, history class in college, and so one of the projects is we had to compare one of the paintings in the Fred Jones Jr. Museum and talk about its characteristics and all that stuff, and it was really cool to go and actually see that work in person. And like you said, there's a lot of French impressionist work there. There's a Monet painting, and it's just a really cool collection, and it's so unique that it's actually on campus,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
so easily accessible.
Yes. And to use that word inspiration, because that's why art teachers take you there.
Yes.
Because they want you to see that, and they want you to let your mind, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. Or there's things about that I want to do.
Right.
That kind of thing. Also, did you get a chance to see the Native American artifacts?
Yes. They have, obviously different exhibitions are in and out of the museum quite frequently, but because Oklahoma is such a rich in Native American history, they tend to keep the Native American artwork and artifacts up year-round. So pretty much every time you were in the museum, you saw some of the Native American art.
Wonderful. So diverse within itself.
Yeah. Well, it's the state. It just really does define the state in a big way. And, of course, Texas had many of the Plains Indians here, but the Plains Indians were kind of, they settled. But the Pueblo Indians, the Plains Indians moved. They followed the herds. The Pueblo Indians actually were the ones that settled and lived in a space. As long as they had water and food, they stayed in their space. That's why they built permanent housing, and the Plains Indians lived out of their teepees, and it was very interesting.
I want a
to
teepee.
study them. Bill and I have one, and we're going in August to New Mexico to a big event, and we're going to stay in the teepee.
When I see you like to go hammocking.
I do. I love to
Wasn't that
hammock.
interesting?
I love to hammock.
Okay, what do you do when you get in your hammock? Do you read?
Not often. I've never been a huge reader.
Uh-huh.
But I just like relax. I'll listen
You
to
sleep.
music. I'll take a nap.
Do you have one of those little container? I've seen those little hammocks in a container, and they're like latched to a tree, and they're just like you can put them in your backpack and go.
Yes, mine lives in my car.
Yes, I want one.
Where do you put it? Where do you hang it? You live in Allen, Texas.
I do.
Are there trees in Allen anymore?
You know,
hang from the building, skyscrapers.
Yeah. Well, I just moved apartments recently, and there aren't as many trees at my new apartment as there were at my old apartment. But really, anywhere there's two trees that are, good distance apart.
Well, you could do this in your mom's backyard, easy.
I have done it
You have
in their
done
backyard
it?
multiple times.
Okay, next time you do it, have them take a picture of you. I want to see that.
I will, for
Let's
sure.
bring the teepee and the
Let's
hammock
see
and
that.
have a party.
Okay, then let's move on to something else I want to talk about. You applied for, you graduate.
Yes.
Made good grades. Then you applied for a job. Talk about your new job. You've been there almost a year.
I've been there just over a year.
Almost over a year.
A year
That's right.
and a
You
month.
went to work in right after school, didn't
Yes,
you?
I started June 1st of last year.
Talk
So I've
about
been there
that wonderful
just over
job.
a year.
Because I'm impressed.
Yeah, it looks like y'all have some fun projects constantly.
We do. So I work at an e-commerce company in Allen called PFS Web.
What does the PFS mean? It's an acronym for what?
It stands for Priority Fulfillment Services. And so the company as a whole is an end-to-end, like omni-channel e-commerce solutions company, which are a lot of big words. And so basically, when you order something online, it goes to a distribution center and it's packed up and shipped. And so my company has the ability to implement the website, take care of customer service, do an agency for like marketing for that company, as well as have a distribution center that actually sends out the
item.
So we're an
Interesting.
end-to-end e-commerce company.
Well, because it looked like on one of your projects you were actually researching the company, and then you actually created the name for the company. Was it?
That was actually a project in college.
Was it? Okay, because I was like, wait a
Yes.
minute. Okay, this is really impressive.
Yes.
Okay.
No, we
Thanks
have
for that clarification.
You're welcome. That could be confusing. No, our clients are all actually pretty big brand name clients.
I was noticing that too.
Yes, and so it's really cool to be able to like say, yeah, I worked on a Starbucks email, because it's like, who can say that, It's really exciting.
And you really did.
And I really did. And so I'm in the agency of our company.
Gotcha.
And so I'm on the creative team within our little marketing agency.
It's fun because it's always changing, right?
Yes. Every day is a little bit different, which keeps it exciting.
Certainly.
So.
And from beginning of a project to the end of a project, and how they approach you and how they tell you that this is what the customer wants, that's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Okay.
So the other thing I want to talk about is you personally. You have your own design company that you do, and I want you to talk about that because I knew that, and when Bill and I started our company, Double W Horse Brokerage LLC, I contacted you and I said, Natalie, would you develop us a logo? And you did that for us. And it was very easy. You did it in a timely manner, and we were very pleased with it. So how could someone contact you if they wanted to say, Natalie, would you, through your company, and you can do this, can you do this information for us? What else do you do? And tell people that, because as we get into this world that we're into, you were talking about how much that's the direction things are going. We need branding. All of us, if we have a business, even as in a wedding, there's a brand.
Right.
There really is a brand.
There really is.
And so talk about that for a minute, how you handle that and how people can contact you.
Absolutely. So I can really do just about anything related to graphic design. I love doing logos and branding because it's fun and you're creating a new brand. And it's something that could potentially last forever. And so like everything that like a brand could entail would be like a logo or like business cards, letterheads. I can do web design. I don't typically build the website, but I can design how it would look and find someone who could build it. as well as, like you mentioned, weddings. I've done some save the dates as well as some wedding invitations. And those are fun too, because those are typically unique to the people getting married, which
Absolutely.
is fun. And let's see.
How do they reach you?
They reached me through email.
She perked right up on that one.
Yes, email. So it's nataliesampson15@gmail.com. You can also find that on my website, nataliesampson.com.
Go to the website. I encourage everyone. I was so impressed this morning. Congratulations, young lady.
you.
And the best is yet
Natalie's-
to be. You're getting started, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. nataliesampson.com. We have to take a break, and so we'll be right back to finish up this interview.
Take us with you on your smartphone or iPad. Search KTBB in the App Store. Sponsored by Tyler Ford.
Are you looking for an excellent and professional real estate team? Judy Kunzman and her team of professionals at Keller Williams Realty are ready and excited to help you with your real estate needs. With Judy having 20 plus years of experience, she's definitely the person to have working for you. She brings her enthusiasm and professionalism required to get you to the closing table. And Judy will make buying or selling a home easier for you. Call the Judy Kunzman team today, 903-581-0111. They're selling real estate with a smile.
Join Larry Lott Interiors by registering at tylerpaper.com for the virtual house inside-outside contest. And join Larry for the biggest housewarming sale in East Texas at 512 East Ferguson, Tyler. And we're celebrating with a huge discount event. Get 40 to 50% off everything in the store, from furniture to accessories, and 20% off custom orders. That's a huge savings on name brands, perfect for any home. The virtual house at tylerpaper.com home improvement contest, with an opportunity to win a free in-home consult from Larry Lott.
One of the business buzzwords today is metric. Hi, this is Paul Gleiser for the University of Texas at Tyler. A metric is a key measure of the economic value of something. When we were young, how much we spent on college wasn't so critical because, in the great arc of life, the money came back many times over. That metric has changed. College costs have greatly outpaced inflation, and many students are graduating college under a mountain of debt that affects every subsequent decision about their lives. That's why your student should consider the University of Texas at Tyler. With over 80 degree programs in a setting that emphasizes instruction and close student-faculty interaction, UT Tyler is a tremendous education value. Your student will leave the university with a fine education at a cost that makes a lifetime of economic sense. Think about smaller classes, lower tuition, and outstanding academics. Then schedule a tour at uttyler.edu. uttyler.edu, the University of Texas at Tyler.
We're right there on your clock radio first thing in the morning and in your dashboard as you dash around all day. We're KTBB. Download our app and listen on your smartphone or iPad. Thanks to Tyler Ford, it's free for iPhone and Android. Just search KTBB in the App Store. KTBB is your only local news radio, and we're working for you even when you're not near a radio. Your only local news radio. 97.5 FM, KTBB, and KTBB.com.
Hey, nice car. I can't help but notice you're listening to the radio right now. Right on. Yeah, the radio's pretty cool. Yeah, too bad you can't listen to it when you get out of the car. Cars, man. They're like the world's heaviest radio, am I right? Yeah, good luck fitting that thing in your pocket. But no, seriously, like, jokes aside, I got this app. Another app, I know, hear me out. This thing lets me use the FM receiver that's built into my phone so I can listen to local radio wherever I take my phone, which is everywhere. So I can listen to the radio everywhere, and I can see what's playing on every station, save my favorites. Oh, and it uses 75% less battery power and 20 times less data than my streaming apps. It's called Next Radio. Try it. I mean, you're already listening to the radio. Listen in more places. Check supported devices and download the free app today from Google Play. Next Radio. Live and local wherever you go.
Pride Homes is in a growth mode, and we need additional sales staff immediately. If you are a self-starter who is competitive, and if you want to work with the best, Pride Homes may be the place for you. We are the premier modular home builder in East Texas, and we are only looking for the best or those who can be trained to be the best. If you have the aptitude and the right attitude, email your resume today to prattmodularhomes.com or fax it to 903-596-0772. That's 956-0772.
Your only local news radio is now on FM. Set a button for 97.5 KTBB FM.
And good morning, East Texas. We are here live, the Art Connection of East Texas. I'm Cindy Trimble with Nita Fran Ward. And we have been talking this morning with Natalie Sampson. And right before our commercial break, we were talking about all of the university and your projects. In speaking about your projects, please tell us, really, when you get called in for a project, what is your process? You know, what happens? What does that look like for you?
Right. Well, at work, when we're called into a project, it's the client has sent over a creative brief of what they want, whether it's an email for like a marketing campaign or website updates, anything along the digital design realm. And typically, we get that from a project manager, comes over, gives us the brief and the timeline for when they need first round of creative. And it's, depending on the project, it's typically a couple days or it could be a week. Or for really big projects, it could be close to 2 weeks, just depending on the project. And then at that deadline, we'll send our creative, we'll either have like an internal review a couple days before the work is due to the client, and then so make any tweaks that the internal team thinks that need to be made, and then we'll send the work to the client when the timeline says to send it to the client, and then typically a few days later we get any feedback for revisions, and then have a few days for those revisions, and then it goes back to the client until they approve it. And then once they approve it, we prep those files. If it's like for a website redesign or updates, we'll prep those files to hand off to our development team. And then it's out of our hands, and the development team will build it. And then after it's built, we'll have like a Q&A when it is
all of you
on
involved. Staging.
Yes. Typically, when it's a creative project, it'll be like either me or my boss will do the QA, and we'll note what needs to be fixed, or any little things where like, this isn't supposed to be this way, it needs to be like this, or anything along those lines.
You mentioned something that sparked this thought in my mind. Do you work as a team, or do you get a project yourself and you work through that with your project manager, or do you have a partner within your area that you work with? And
Right.
You play off of each other.
Right. It's really a collaborative environment. And so typically, it's like if a project is mine, I will work on it, and then I'll get feedback from others on the creative team, or like my boss will give me feedback. And then, so we really all work together. Or it's like if there's a lot of projects going on, sometimes we'll just divvy up the project itself. So it's like if it's 2 versions, it's like I'll do a version, and another guy on the team will do another version, and we'll send 2 versions to the client.
And I have a question too, because that creative flow. Sometimes it's hard when you're like timeline, so sometimes that can block it. And I'm wondering, does that collaboration help you through that, or do you find stifling at the time?
No, it definitely helps me through it, because there's been so many times where I'm like, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and we need to like move it forward. And then I'll show it to like my boss or one of the other guys on the team, and I'll be like, okay, what do you think about this? And they'll be like, this is good, but let's add this, and this.
Suggestion.
A think tank.
Yes. And so it's a very collaborative, open environment.
Nice.
So
and we're getting to a real deadline here, but one of the things I want to ask you about, and as interior designers, she and I both, what is your space like? What is the space you work in like?
Well, at work, it's like an open cubicle, and it's like there's 2 people into one space. And so I share like a huge desk with my boss, actually. And then so it's like a big room full of those 2 cube things. They're kind of hard to describe, but it's very open, and you can tell that it's a very collaborative environment.
It's a cubism.
Through the work.
Its own art form.
Is it quiet?
Yes, it actually is.
You actually work in a real quiet environment?
Yes, I tend to listen to music most of the day because it's too quiet for me.
So do you have headphones on and you listen to your music while you're creating? Is that how you do it?
Yes. Typically, I'll just have like one of my earphones in so I can still hear if anyone needs me, and so that I'm not completely zoned out to the world. But yeah, I listen to music.
It's good that you like your boss.
Yes.
Being in the
Doesn't that
same
make a difference?
Absolutely. I have a great boss. So
that's wonderful. And I know when your grandfather died, he was so lovely to you.
Yes.
And your family appreciated that.
Absolutely.
One of the things I want to say is you parents, your grandparents out there, you have a young artist, support them, because Natalie's family certainly did that in a big way, and sitting here today is a result of that. So